Welcome back to FM Story. We ended the last episode at the end of season 1, getting sacked by Leon after what was pretty much a disaster of a season. However, it didn't take us very long to find a new job. So without further ado, let's have a look and see where we're beginning season 2. And there we are. We have a new job. We have got the job at Crystal Palace. Glasner obviously leaving at the end of the season. It's happened pretty quickly. It's only just the beginning of June. One of the plus sides to Crystal Palace was that they won the Conference League last year, so they're in the Europa League. Obviously, it's unlikely that we're going to challenge for the Premier League, but hopefully we can challenge for the Europa League a bit better than we did at Lyon, and challenge for the FA Cup a bit better than we did with the Coupe de France with Lyon in season 1 there. But we have taken over at Crystal Palace. We have 40 million in the transfer budget. We've got some space in the wage budget as well. So hopefully we don't have the same issues that we had last season with Lyon. And looking at the squad, there's only a couple of players that are out of contract at the end of the month. Nathaniel Klein's one who we may offer a contract to just to have the body around. The other one is a centre half who isn't going to be good enough. And other than that, they don't seem to have lost any players. Well, there's no one obvious, at least. Let's have a look and see. Transfer history. But Uche is coming in on a permanent deal, having had an okay loan spell, better than certainly in real life. In terms of outgoings, not really an awful lot, to be perfectly honest. So hopefully we can build something with Palace. Obviously in real life, they play a 3 at the back under Glasner. And I think that would probably be what you would look to do to get the most out of Munoz, in particular down the right. And hopefully we can hold on to some of the more promising younger players, the likes of Pino, the likes of Wharton, into giving us a bit more of a successful season. So we've made it to the beginning of the season, and we've done quite a bit of business in the transfer market over the summer since we took over. Before we look at the work we did, there was some deals already done that were as a result of loan deals in season 1. So in terms of the outgoings, Eddie Nketiah went to Brentford for 24 million. That was already agreed before we took over. And then in terms of incomings, Uche made his deal permanent. Sotalo came in. And Robin Hranak also turned loan deals into permanent deals. In terms of the outgoings, there has been a few players from the squad moved on. So Danny Imrie wanted to leave, wasn't going to be a first choice. He's gone to Parma. Justin Devaney wasn't classed as homegrown in the nation, which was a problem as far as the squad was concerned. So he's gone to Calgary. David Ozzo probably wasn't going to be involved in the first team picture. He's gone to Bournemouth. And then the big deal, Ismail Assar, has gone to Al Ittihad. And then in terms of the deals we've done to bring players into the club, the first one was to strengthen that sort of defensive midfield area. We brought in Frank Kessie on a free transfer once his contract had expired in Saudi Arabia. We've then, with Nathaniel Klein retiring at the end of the season, we didn't really have cover for Munoz if he was to get injured. So we've brought in Marco Palestra from Atalanta, a young player that can do a job, cover him. And then we did this deal before the Milasar deal happened. But we were kind of always looking for someone who could play wide, play through the middle. So we brought in Lucas Ocampos, a bit more experienced, a bit older than we would probably have preferred to bring in. But it was a pretty decent value at 15 million for someone who had a great season in Mexico and Monterrey. And tactically, we're looking at a similar formation to what we had in most of the second half of the season with Leon, where we managed to turn our form around. Largely because I think it works for Palace, because in real life, obviously Palace play with 3 centre-halves most of the time anyway. It fits the players they've got. We are going to try starting the season with Yeremy Pino through the middle in a false 9 role and see how that goes. But that's how we're going to start the season anyway, and then we'll see where we go from there. In terms of how things start, we've not got the most straightforward of starts to the season. We start with Newcastle at home. We've got Liverpool in our first couple of home games as well. And obviously one of the big ticks in taking the Palace job was that they go straight into the league phase of the Europa League, having won the Conference League last season. So hopefully we can make a strong run in that competition as well. But we start the league season with Newcastle at home, and hopefully we can get off to a good start. So here we go. Let's decide we've gone with for the opening day of the season. Interesting to see the signings that Newcastle made since the start of the game. Gregor Kobel in goal, David Raum at left back, Edouard Mendy, Goretzka, and Newcastle are the favourites apparently going into this game. So we're playing with the 3 at the back with the 2 defensive midfielders and the wing backs that we employed in that second half of the season with Leon. They're going with the 4-3-3. We've not had an awful lot of the ball in the early stages here. Guimaraes out to Raum. Ball in behind Munoz for Anthony Gordon. Into the box, pulls it back to the edge of the area. Somehow that didn't go in. And we've given away a free kick on the edge of the box. That didn't come to anything. And Henderson goes long. It's gone over the top of Pino. We should be aiming those ones out to the flanks where we've got a bit of height. And we're 1-0 down. Joe Linton opening the scoring. This has not been that we were looking for. I mean, far too much time for Raum, far much time for Joe Linton. And that is not the start we needed. We made a change. We moved Uche through the middle and moved Pino out to the left-hand side. They've got a free kick. Room to take it. It was over the wall. And Henderson claws it behind for a corner. Right. It's all Newcastle attacking. Back to Thiaw. Out to the flank. Elanga gets a low cross in. Somehow we managed to block that shot after a weird bit of goalkeeping by Henderson. Henderson goes short. Richards to Wharton. Uche on to Pino. Out to Munoz. Past his man. Still going. And there's Adam Wharton to tuck it home. And we've levelled it very much against the run of play 1-1. It's the first thing we've seen of us in an attacking threat. Munoz goes past Raum. There, gets to the byline. Somehow keeps a hold of it. And then picks out Wharton 6 yards out and he couldn't miss. Realm, bringing it forward on the left-hand side into Voltamada. And we're just letting him have the ball. Gordon racing towards the byline, keeps it in. Realm. Joelinton again on the edge of the area. I don't quite understand how that's happening. We're not asking them to drop off. We've got two defensive midfielders, and none of them are anywhere near him. Well, half time, 2-1 down. I mean, everything we've seen, apart from our goal, everything we've seen is an attack for them. Right, we've switched things over at half time. We've changed the formation. Dino was struggling because he wasn't fully fit, so he's come off. Campus has gone to the left. Brennan Johnson's come in on the right. We've taken centre half off, dropped Uche in behind, and played Mateta through the middle. Richards into Wharton. Uche challenge, but Campos picks it up. Lacroix, Munoz, Johnson. Past his man, low ball in, and then Uche turns it home, levels it up at 2-2. He was the only one that reacted to the deflection on the cross. And Johnson runs it around. That's where we've got our two bright sparks in the game, is running at him. And Uche beats Coble. Throw for them. It's going to be a long one. We've got a head on it. It is going to come back at us though. Alanga now. Mitchell wins it. Now breaks cleared on his left hand side. Going to run a long way with it into Mateta. Mateta finds the back of the net. We get a VAR review for it. And it's been given. And we've somehow managed to take the lead. This formation change seems to work. We might have to stick with this. Mitchell with a long ball over the top. Definitely onside. Mateta's there in behind, takes a touch, and then rolls it under the keeper. A free kick for them. Lifted into the box. Got a head on it. Gow was offside. Henderson didn't know it. He still managed to make the save. We have been so much better in the second half. Right, we're into the last 10 minutes. We've made another couple of changes. Raksaki's come on for Campos, who was struggling. Palestra has come on for Munoz, who was running out of energy. And we brought Lerma on in front of the back four and taking Uche off. And there we are. Full time, 3-2, opening day win. Pretty dreadful in the first half. Much, much better in the second half. And hopefully it's a sign of things to come from this side. We're approaching the end of September. We've got one league game left before a huge international break. And by and large, things have gone reasonably well since the opening day of the season. We have done some more business in the transfer market. In terms of outgoings, players that really weren't going to be involved in the first team picture, the surprise one was Owen Goodman, who we'd kind of decided was going to be our third choice goalkeeper because he satisfied the homegrown side of things. But a load of Italian clubs, there was about 4 or 5 of them, all came in with offers for him. He was out of contract at the end of the season. He's left for £2 million. In terms of the incomings, there's been 3 players come in. 2 permanent, 1 on a loan deal. Firstly, coming in, we've got Karim Adeyemi. He's coming from Dortmund. And really, it was to give us some more options on the flanks. Someone who could cut in, could be a goal threat. And so far, he's kind of started pretty well for us. He did come in with a bit of a knock, so he hasn't played as many games as he could have. Then we went to Brøndby and picked up Jakob Ambek, centre forward. Really more of a one for the future at only 18. But he's come in to give us a bit more competition up there in the centre forward role. And then the final incoming, we had some issues. We'd obviously signed earlier on in the transfer window, we'd signed Marco Palestra to be a backup to Daniel Munoz right back. After the opening day of the season, Munoz picked up an injury. It's going to keep him up for 3 months. We didn't really have any backup at left back, so we went and brought in Kieran Trippier on loan to the end of the season when his Newcastle contract expires in game as well. And it just gives us a bit of experience on both flanks. Yes, the physical attributes, certainly in terms of pace and acceleration, aren't great, but I think we're going to use him more as an option off the bench or a backup really than anything else. But at least we've got that experience, a bit of know-how to maybe see us through. Obviously, we saw the opening day victory against Newcastle. That all changed basically on a change of formation at half-time. So since then, we have gone with the 4-2-3-1. We drew 1-1 against Fulham. We weren't particularly good. We did waste some chances in that one. We then drew 2-2 with Liverpool, and it was a much, much better performance. We did go behind, but we managed to get ourselves actually in front. And then towards the end of the game, it was us that was really creating chances to try and win the game. We then lost away at Brighton, and we took the early lead. We should have been 2 up, and then we kind of threw it away and then just didn't react. The League Cup, we picked pretty much a fully rotated team and ended up going through on penalties. We then absolutely battered Ipswich. We could have been 6-0 up at half-time. Probably should have been at least 3 or 4 up at half-time with the chances that we wasted. And then we just didn't get that second goal. They got a goal back to level it with 10 minutes left, and we just couldn't find another gear to go and find a winner. And then we started our Europa League campaign. We've had 2 games in the Europa League. We didn't have a Premier League game in between, so we are behind the rest of the Premier League teams in terms of games played, which makes our start to the season look worse than it maybe is. But first game in the Europa League, we went away to Bodo Glimt. Really strong performance there. Ended up winning 5-1. Really comfortable victory. And then a pretty comfortable victory at home against Malmo in the next one as well. As far as the Europa League is concerned, we've got a couple of difficult games coming up in the what we've got left. We've got Maccabi Haifa, which should be relatively straightforward, but then we've got Villarreal, we've got Paris FC, we've got Maribor, and then we finish up with Celtic and Atalanta. So having got the 2 victories on the board already, I'd like to think that we'd be in a pretty decent position of qualifying for the knockout stages without having to go into the playoff round. And then as far as the league's concerned, we're down in 15th because we're playing last game on a Sunday. Everyone else has pretty much played this weekend. We also missed a week in between those 2 Europa League games. So we've played 2 games less than most of the league, and certainly 1 game less than the rest of the league. And we've got 6 points from 5 games so far. We've got a game coming up now against Everton, who do seem to be struggling. They're 5th, 5 points from 6 games. If we can pick up a victory on the road here, it'll push us right back up the table straight away and leave us in a good place for what looks like a 3-week or 4-week break for international football. So we've gone with the same team that played the last game or started the last game against Malmo. We've played some pretty decent football this season as well, so hopefully we can keep that up. So they're going with a 4-2-3-1 as well, like we are. we're going with the 4-2-3-1 with Pino having a free roll behind Mateta and Adeyemi and Ocampos, the wide threats for us. Pickford's got the ball at the back for them. Rolls it out. Goes back to Pickford. And they're attacking on the left. Gutierrez goes for goal. Thankfully, it was straight at Henderson. Henderson rolls it out, and there we go. We've really done nothing in this game so far. No shots, no corners. We've obviously been caught offside. Pickford with a free kick here. Goes short. Gutierrez on the left. I mean, this seems to be already that seems to be a pattern that they're trying to attack down that left-hand side. And somehow Barry's managed to get that under the bar from very close in. This is just miserable play. Dibbling sticking wide, just about keeps it in. And basically a free header from 2 yards out for Barry. Campos with the tackle, but they've got it back. And Gutierrez out to Branthwaite. I mean, we've got no defenders on that right-hand side of our defence. And thankfully, Henderson gets down to keep that out. This is, I would say, as bad as anything we've played this season so far. One comes in, got a head on it, Pino, Wharton, Adeyemi flicks it on, tied it up at the back for them. It's just going to come straight back at us. NDI, out to Gutierrez. I mean, everything is just Mitchell into midfield. Pino picks it up, running at the defence, and then just delays it too long, but Richards wins it back. Lastra into Ocampos, Kessie into Adeyemi. Campos has run. Mateta's definitely offside. I mean, that has to be offside. Yeah. It was never going to be given that. He just didn't get himself back inside. But in fact, actually, Campos is offside anyway. He wins it back. Campos up to Mateta. The ball is just not sticking. And then we're just inviting them back onto us. That was the most awkward bit of goalkeeping. There's an awful lot of space wide, considering we're putting players wide in the defence and wide in the attack. And no one challenged for the ball in the air either. Mitchell down the line for Adeyemi into the box. As a challenge comes in, Lastra wins the header. Campos to Kessie, Wharton. Kessie over the top. Adeyemi, can he get the shot off? I mean, somehow we've got a goal back. Very, very much against the run of play. We've been truly dreadful in this first half. We try to lump the ball forward to Adeyemi. Wharton wins a header. Adeyemi manages to take it down and then gets the shot off. It finds the back of the net. And there we are, half-time 2-1. We are deservedly behind, and we need to be a lot better in the second half. Right, we've sent the same team out to start the second half. We'll give them 10-15 minutes to see if we can do anything before we consider any changes. Right, a corner for them. Now swinging to the near post. We've got a head on it. Tries to flick it clear, but it's just come straight back into the box. And we've given another corner away. Another corner for them, this time from the other side. Okay, we've got the head on it. Now Pino bringing it clear. Adeyemi up with him. Adeyemi looking to go around the outside. Holds it up. Back to Wharton on the edge of the box. And that was a bit of a waste, really. And Gutierrez into Branthwaite. And we've won it back. Mateta out to Palestra. On this right-hand side, Ocampos. Palestra again. Goes past his man. Still going. Squares it. Pino fires home. And we've been much better in the second half. We've got ourselves level. Palestra really aggressive on that right-hand side. Then waits, kicks out his man, and Pino from 6 yards out couldn't really miss that one. We've made a couple of substitutions. We've swapped the two wide men because Ocampos had a bit of a stinker, and Adeyemi was looking knackered. So Brennan Johnson's come on the right wing, and Runsaki's come on the left wing. We've got away with one there off the underside of the bar, and then somehow we've not managed to give away a penalty there. A free kick for them in a dangerous position. It's gone to the back post. No one reacted. I mean, the fact that Alcaraz is the one winning the header at the back post as well. I mean, he is literally Mateta that's marking him. Mateta doesn't even jump. And there's Roll in the middle of the box for a tap-in, basically. Right, we made what's left of our changes. Ambik's come on for Mateta, Uchi's come on for Pino, and Trippier's come on at right back. They're attacking down their right. Oh, Raksaki wins it. Uchi long out to the right hand side to Brennan Johnson, who takes it in his stride, puts inside, still going, and we've been given a penalty. He couldn't make his mind up what he wanted to do, and thankfully the Everton players barged him over and given away a penalty. And Johnson looks like he's going to step up and take it. High into the roof of the net, levels it at 3-3. And if we get away with a point from this game, we'll have, it'll be a bit of a robbery. High. Pickford goes the wrong way. That's 3-3 with 3 minutes left to play. Right. Last couple of minutes of injury time. Nothing's going to come of it. And there we go. Full time 3-3. And we did not deserve a point from that game, but we'll take it. And there we are, the end of another episode. We've begun season 2 with Crystal Palace. It's not gone too badly. A couple of those results we should have picked up victories in, but we did get lucky in that last game against Everton because we didn't deserve anything from it. It's now time for a big international break. We've got 18 days for our next game in the league. We do have a game in hand on most of the teams in the league as well, so the league table isn't really a true reflection of how things have started. I think we've done pretty well in the transfer market, and we've certainly started the Europa League well. So hopefully we can continue that as we go through the next episode. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.